Our last lightning talk is Becca Black with Pacala, and she's going to be talking about my unlikely path to tech sales. Becca has a strong passion for developing relationships and building trust amongst her clients. She advises on technology decisions that solve critical business problems and modernize, transform IT environments. And I'm going to share one really cool fact that I liked in her bio is she earned a Bachelor of Science in Zoology. That's very cool. So welcome.
Hey everybody, thanks for being here. Hello everyone at home. So today I want to share with you my journey to this point. As I stand here, I am the top producer at my company, and I've been in tech sales for only 3 years. And so some of the things that I hope to convey would be that your career journey is not going to be a straight climb up the corporate ladder, that your character and your potential can get you much farther than your technical skills, degrees, or certifications, and that you don't have to be a programmer or a coder or even be that good with computers to have a good career in technology. So my story starts here in Charlotte. As a girl, I was an avid horseback rider, and somewhere along the way, I decided I wanted to be a veterinarian. It was fitting that Kia had us start our morning with our childhood aspirations. That led me to pursue a spot at NC State for animal science. Any other wolf pack in the room? Nice. So I get into the coursework and I find myself in organic chemistry. I think, as Emily mentioned earlier, the higher sciences are quite difficult. I did not do very well. I got a 40 on my first test in organic chem. So that quickly crushed my dreams of becoming a veterinarian, and I pivoted. I changed my major to something a little more broad and kept going. Come to graduation time, everyone's talking about advanced education or first jobs, and a mentor along the way had suggested I should do animal pharmaceutical sales. She said I was good at communication and you can make a lot of money in sales. So I set my sights on that. I quickly realized that those jobs were spent in a cubicle making cold calls, and I was less than thrilled. But I still diligently applied for about 100 positions, landed maybe 2 or 3 interviews, and didn't get a single job offer. Pivot to plan B. I moved to the U.S. Virgin Islands in St. John. It's got beautiful beaches, friendly people, and tourists shelling out hundreds of dollars on bar tabs. I moved down there with a resume, met a bar manager who was hiring, and with 0 experience in food and beverage, he gave me a shot. I learned a lot in that first job, a lot about customer service, about the value of having a strong team around me, and I even learned a little bit of how to manage up to who turned out to be an unpleasant boss. And it was a great experience. I was there for 2 years. When I decided to move back home, my family needed me, and I wanted to move on to something else. So I was back to the job search. Again, I think I submitted about 100 resumes, and the algorithms felt impossible to break through. I ended up landing a job at an industrial farming company. So I was representing the largest carrot grower in the world, and I had the opportunity to support big retail grocery chains all across the country. And it was a great first job. I got pretty good. I was doing sales and marketing type work, and I felt like I got pretty good in those areas, but something was missing. I didn't really understand how my organization worked as a whole, and I didn't understand how my clients' organizations worked as a whole. These retail groceries were so complex. I decided to do something about that, so I enrolled in Wake Forest's evening MBA program here in Uptown Charlotte. When I entered the program, I really thought that it was going to be numbers heavy, like lots of accounting and finance. But to my surprise, a different theme emerged, and that was technology. And I learned that technology was really the lifeblood of modern business. So I continue on, and I think in the third semester, I'm in Introduction to Technology Management. And I have to say I wasn't really excited about the class. I never thought myself to be very computer savvy. The professor's opening statements are that 80% of jobs will be replaced with automation in the next 20 years. And I panicked. How am I going to compete with a machine for a job? It inspired me. While my professor was somewhat accurate in his claim, what he failed to mention was the proportionate number of jobs created due to said automation. But nonetheless, it inspired me and lit the fire under me to do something different, and I started networking quite a bit. I connected with a CIO in my class who was really eager to help new people get into technology, and he knew there was a great need for women in the field. He introduced me to a regional sales manager who was hiring here in Charlotte. And lucky for me, this sales manager was looking for character and potential rather than technology experience. And he was hiring based on Patrick Lencioni's, and I think someone mentioned the 5 dysfunctions of a team. Patrick Lencioni has a different book called The Ideal Team Player. And there's 3 attributes for the ideal team player. It's someone who's hungry, someone who's humble, and someone who's smart. And not book smart, but people smart. Thankfully, David, the sales manager, saw those attributes in me and decided to give me a shot. I was surrounded by some of the brightest in networking and cybersecurity and data center infrastructure. I was able to join meetings with IT decision makers. They would throw around all these acronyms like SD-WAN and PCI, NIST, hundreds of acronyms. I would quietly jot them down in my notebook. After my meetings, my patient solutions architects would spend time filling in all the gaps, whiteboard sessions to get me up to speed. And what my boss at the time knew was that technology was moving so quickly that if I could jump on the wave and keep riding it, I could catch up and have success. The next thing that happened highlights the lowest point in my career journey. My company was acquired by a regional carrier, and the day the deal closed, I got a call saying I'd been let go, and I was heartbroken. I had been putting so much into this job. I loved the job, and I'd really started to see my success pay off, my hard work pay off. But nonetheless, I was back to another job search. I was scrolling LinkedIn when I saw this post. It was reshared from a former colleague. Opcala is hiring. If you're a self-motivated, hardworking salesperson, let's talk. I applied with my resume, and I got an interview. In that meeting, I learned that OPS stood for operational, and CALA stood for efficiencies, and OpCala was building a technology advisory firm focused on customers, helping customers create efficiencies. I was interested. The 3 guys who'd started the company were hungry and hardworking, and I really liked their business model. The problem I had was I only had 1 year of technology under my belt. So I had to focus on selling my potential rather than my experience. And they were willing to give me a shot. And I again found myself surrounded by subject matter experts in new categories like contact center and cloud services, Microsoft, and a bunch of other categories that I can dive into and explore deeper. And as I stand here today, I can confidently say I advise my customers on projects that are highly transformational for their business and make a big impact. This is me 8 months pregnant, accepting an award for being over my quota earlier this year. And there's just so much more we can do. And I hope that through describing my story here today that you learned that if you are on the path to success, that being here is one of the best things you can do. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep networking. Your character can get you really far, and I really hope that if you're recruiting women in IT, that you consider character and potential. And lastly, just know that if you are feeling like you don't have all the technical capabilities, you can jump on the wave, you can catch up, and you can learn and grow and have success. And that's it. Thank you so much.